Hello, this is John. I would like to thank all my viewers and subscribers for showing maximum interest in my tutorials and for supporting the channel with 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. In this lesson, we are going to look at how to play this classical position. A lot of draft players usually make mistakes when we have position of this nature. So how do we handle such positions? Black plays 8-12. The best move for white is to play 34-39. Now, if we use the square diagram that I have explained over and over, we see that if you draw the square diagram, and then you have 32-34. The rule of the square diagram is that we surround the vertex, which is 34, with our pieces. So the squares that surround the vertex at 34 are 29, 39, 40, and then 30. So what we need to do is to play 34-29 to remove the black piece at 23. So now black has to play 18-23, and the reason is that if the square is drawn, you can move to 23 to take control of 23. Now the best move here is to play 27-22. The reason we play 27-22 is that if you draw the square, now we see that black has a piece at 21, and then we already have a piece at 23. There's no piece at 43. There's no piece at 41. But we see that the 21 here, the vertex at 21 here, is surrounded by 17, 27, 26, and then 16. And out of 23, we have 18, 28, 29, and 19. So now, these squares, 17 and 18, so we have 17, 18, 27, 28. And then the center of those positions is square 22. So when we move to 22, we can control 17, 18, 28, and 27. So that's the reason why we need to move our piece from 27 to 22 so that we have control of these squares, 17, 18, 28, 27. So we need to move this piece to 22 so that we have control of these squares. And then black plays 12-18. So 12-18 is played by black. So again, if you draw the square diagram to the position, we understand why black should play, because the vertex here is surrounded by 18, 17, 27, and 20. So we can move to 18. We also consider playing 12-17. Maybe in our next lesson, we'll look at that move. So we look at various positions in classical games and how you handle it. So we'll take it one after the other. So let's look at this very one first. So where black plays 12-18. So let's draw the square if you want to get the position right. So now we know the vertex at 40 is surrounded by these positions. So we can play 39-34. We can play 39-34. And then black will take. Again, if we draw the square, we see that this position here is surrounded by 24, 34, 33, 23. We can move our piece to 29, but we can move to 30 so that the 30 will have control of 24 and 34. So we move this piece here to 30. Then black answered by playing 13-18. So if you draw to black position, so we see that this position here, and then this, we have that. So the square here is surrounded by 12, 13, 3, and 2. And that of 28 is surrounded by 22, 23, 33, and 32. And then we see that when piece 13 is moved to 18, you have control of 12, 13, 22, and 23. So we move this piece to 18 so that we have control of these squares. It's very important. All right, so black played 13, 18. So 13, 18 should be answered by white by playing 28, 22. So let's draw the diagram. The diagram can go either way. So it can also go this way. Because 18 is the center of the board. So we can draw the square either way. So now at this point, at this position here, at 18, we have 22 and 23, and then 12 and 13 surrounding the square 18. So we can move this piece to 22. We can move 28 to 22. Black should answer this move by playing 23, 28. So we see that the position here is surrounded by 17, 18, 28, and 27. Black can play 23, 28. And then we have this position, 33, 28. So you know that the last position of black is 7. So if you should draw the square from that position, we see that we have 27 and then 29. And as I have explained, 27 is surrounded by 22, 32, 31, 21. And then 29 is surrounded by 23, 24, 34, 33. And then we know that this position here, the 23, 28, we have 32, 33. So we move the piece at 33 to 28 to control these 4 squares here. So to control 22, 23, 33, 32. So we need to move to that position, or we move to that square. Then black has to answer by playing 24, 29. So he needs to answer this move by playing 24, 29. So if we should draw the square, we see that 28 is surrounded by this, and then this move to, so the 30 is also surrounded by 24, 25, 35, and 34. So as we see, this 4 position has 29 as its center. So black can move to 29. Now if we look at 8, if we look at 8 here, we see that 8-2 is surrounded by this position. So if we move from 7 to 12, black can play this move 28, 23 to remove the piece at 19, and you lose the game. So sometimes you need to read the game carefully before we play. All right, so black play 24, 29. White will have to answer this move by playing 38, 33. We play this move by playing 38, 33. So again, if we should draw the square to determine the position of this move, so we see that this piece here is surrounded by 23, 33, 34, and 24. So we need to remove this piece here so that we can cut the piece at 19, and then we have a chance of going to king. Remove the piece at 29 by playing 38, 33. And then again, you should play 37, 32 to send the piece at 38 back to 27. Can play 30, 24. So if you draw the diagram, we see that the position here is surrounded by this. We can play 37, 32, play 30, 24. So again, if we should draw the square, so the 29 here is surrounded by this. So we can move 30 to 24. We can move 30 to 24. So we play 30, 24. We move to 24. Black played 27, 27, 32. So why should black play 27, 32? If you draw the diagram again, we see that the vertex here surrounded by this, and this one too is surrounded by 37, 38, 48, and then 47. So as I said, we have these four squares over here. So if we move to the center, we control the four squares. So we need to remove this piece. So by playing 27, 32, then black has to play 21, 27. So black has to play 21, 27. So if we draw, so we see that again, the vector 17 is surrounded by this square, and then that of 37 is also surrounded by this. So we move to the center of the square. Black will play 24, 20. So again, if we should draw the square, so you need to play 24, 90. Again, 24, 90 will form the center of the square. So we need to move to the center. The 20 will be the center of the square. So now if we should draw another square in this direction, then you see that the 20 here will be the center of the square. And we know the center of the square also controls all these positions or all these squares over here. So example is 18. So if you have 18 here, 18 controls 12, 22, 23, and 13. So does the square 20 here. So the square 20 here also controls 14, 15, 25, and then 24. So we move to square 20. And then black will have to play 14, 19. So we play 14, 19. So we move to 19. And then white will play 20, 15. Then black will take. And then again, white will have to move from 37 to 32. Then black will play 31, 36. Then white will play 15, 10. If we should draw the square, if we draw the square, then we see this position here. So the 20 here is surrounded by 14, 15, 25, 40. The 10 controls 15, and then 14 controls that. So black plays 36, 41. White has to move. Let me draw the square. So we move to 28. Play 32, 28 to this corner here. And then black plays 41, 47. So if you draw the square, so now you know why it plays here, because the vertex here 48 and 46 are surrounded by this. So we move to the center of the square. And then also white will play 10, 5. So 10, 5, if we draw the square, we'll move to 5. We can also move to 4. Because of this piece here, we move to 5. And then he has to move away from that thread. So play 19, 24. And then white has to answer by playing 28, 23. We know why that move should be made. And then black answered by playing 7 and then 12. So 7 and 12, if we draw the square, so we move to the center of the square. So again, we draw the square. So we see that the 14 here is surrounded by 9, 19, 20, 10. So we play 5 to 10. So as for this, you have so many options. Black played 47, 36. Then 47, 36, if you draw the square, we see that the vertex 18 is surrounded by 13, 22, and then 12. So we can move to 19 to control 13 and then 23. And then playing 23-19, also black piece at 24 back to 13. Then we can move the piece here to 20 to have a draw. So the reason you play that is when you draw the square in that position, we know that 15 here is surrounded by 20 and 40, so we can move to 20. He also played this move, moving to the center of the square. So moving to the center of the square. So that's the center of the square. Then white moved to 15. He played 20-15. And then black will have to answer this move by playing 27-43. So again, if we draw the square, so the position here is surrounded by 28, 29, 39, 38. So we can move to 43. So we can play these to 43 to control these two squares. So black played 27-43. So this game should end in a draw. So that's how we play this move. In my next tutorial, we'll look at another option with the same position, what you need to do so that you don't lose the game. Thank you very much. See you.